Lots to chat about, I think. I hope that you're all doing well. Um, gonna wait a few minutes for everyone to come into the chat so we can connect and discuss some of the deeper, intense energies that we are experiencing. Hi, Dustin. Thank you for being here. How are you doing? I'll tell you, this energy definitely took me down the other day, which, isn't a bad thing, but definitely some heavy duty waves. And I'm feeling this shifting of energy as Pluto has stopped. You feel so awesome, so grateful, awesome. I'm so happy. So happy that you're doing awesome. And I do see that a lot of people are having this upliftment and this elevation, and that's a beautiful thing. And there are some of us who still have residual past energies that we maybe need to kind of cleanse and clear away again. That's sort of what I could feel and sense for myself yesterday. Not a bad thing, but I'll tell you, the energy over the last couple of days, I could feel the intensity in the waves. I'm hoping you're contagious too, Dustin. I could feel like just I don't even know what you would call it, but it was definitely intensity. And it happened for me. I was actually in the middle of giving a Reiki session to a client. And suddenly in my throat chakra, I started to feel it very tight, like a lump in my throat. And I'm like, what is this? And when I left, I went out to the lake to kind of clear any energy I was carrying and see if I could sit with this sensation. And there were just so many distractions that finally a wave of energy. Hi, Lisa. Finally, a wave of energy came through and allowed me to kind of tap into a little bit deeper what I was processing, sensing, feeling, picking up that needed to be released. And so, yeah, I had another release. Nothing bad, just an emotional purge. And I do know that these energy waves are really bringing us, elevating us into a higher frequency, a higher dimension. And so whatever we have going on internally that we cannot take with us in that higher dimension has got to go. That's that purge, that up leveling. Dustin, an astrology said Libra and Scorpio are the main characters this week. And I have Scorpio rising, Libra, North Node. You did too, Lisa, big time. Yeah. And actually, afterwards, I really felt deeply prompted to dive into my own chart, which I don't do that often. I don't know why, I just don't. But I learned some new things about myself and it made a lot of sense. I was guided into my natal North and South node, as well as the current North and South node placement and the Pluto in Aquarius. And it all made sense. And I see where there is certain areas of tension or challenge that I have really worked through, but we're like at another pass, another layer. It's like, all right, let's peel this one back. And I saw it. I saw myself. I saw the also the Scorpio energy Mercury, Mars, both in Scorpio right now. Mercury squaring Pluto, the mind, the mental gymnastics, but more so, I felt that Black Moon Lilith energy in Scorpio rise up again. The self-doubt and the imposter syndrome, all these things that I thought were gone. It's coming back up around. Hello, everybody. Hi, Dewey. Oh, so glad to connect with all of you. How is everyone feeling? How are you experiencing this energy wave? Pluto stations direct on Monday, on the 13th, here in the East Coast of the United States. What other big shifts do we have? There's a lot. There's a lot. Feeling great today. Dewey says groovy. Wonderful. Good. I know that there have been a lot of synchronicities, a lot of signs, a lot of communication and telepathic communication coming through the spirit realms as well. So there's definitely a big upliftment. Up and down, but all good, says Lisa. Yeah, same. And the message I received this morning after, and it wasn't even a deep purge, it was just like, oh, this belief about myself has got to go. And I did have a big release hosting my moon circle on Sunday. I allowed spirit to come through my vocals. I fully let go and surrendered, and it flowed out, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was magical. And I'm really proud of myself for just really trusting and allowing and flowing with that. So I do see a lot of the newness, and but anytime we are being elevated into to alignment with our soul's path, there's a dip, there's a drop that we've got to drop back down into the depths of ourselves to remove what can't come with us on that soul path. Thank you, Justin. I'm proud of me too. And still, for the life of me, I have a hard time understanding why that's been so hard for me. I did go for a walk with a friend, another mystical, magical, psychic, beautiful practitioner that I work with, and we facilitated moon circles together for a good year or so. And she said, there's that old persecution wound that goes deep, and when we fully strip down and allow spirit to flow through us, there's a fear because of things that have happened in the past. And it made sense how she was explaining it. But so yeah, pushing through personal boundaries that I've made with myself that no longer are in alignment with my soul's path. And that's the name of the game, right? We just keep pushing through the muck and the mud of our past selves, the past versions of ourselves. So anyway, it's very transformative. What else do we want to talk about? I think we're going to get into some cards here. I came on with the intention of really just connecting, not much of an agenda. So let's see what messages want to come through for us all, or what spirit wants to talk about. 5 of materials wanted to pop out. We're going to put it back in there, but let me just sit with that energy for a moment. Okay. Some people can be re-experiencing again that Venus on the South Node energy. If it's not in relationship, it can to another person or other people. It can definitely be hitting in the financial area. So, hi Jess, in the finances. That lack mentality, the beliefs that we were programmed and conditioned to believe that, and that's linked into self-worth, self-value, our finances. Hello, Jess. Hi, everybody. So good to see you all here. So yeah, 5 of materials wanted to pop out. Don't let that enter. It's temporary. It's a temporary, could be setback. Feeling really left out. This person is in a fetal position. But you see this hand, it's like reaching through the fabric of this energy that's been created based out of lack, or the lack mentality. All right, justice below that. Let's see what else wants to come through. So it's definitely a lot of mixed up energies right now. Kind of like the universe has taken this jar of sand and water and shook it up, and everything's stirred up all over again. Stirred up in the emotions, stirred up. We've got some trines that we're working with, an air trine. We're going to have a lot of fire and air going in the future, which is a lot of masculine energy, some big energies. But let's stick with right now. It does feel like a roller coaster. I agree, Jess. It feels like a roller coaster ride that I've been on before, yet some of the parts seem a little more, it's almost like I hadn't ridden that ride in a long time, you know? Because some of this is really, really old. Old stuff surfacing and coming back up for purging, for releasing. Can catch you off guard sometimes. And there's that Venus energy. Venus will be moving into Libra next week as well. I think it's on the 14th. So she's finally moving away from the South Node. Whew. South Node transits are hard because that's not just past, but it's past life also. And yes, we incarnate here with past life karma that we must work through. So it does recreate itself again in this lifetime, maybe not in the same manner, but it's the same lesson. It's the same. It's all about soul growth. And thank you to all the moderators that are keeping the chat nice and clean. I appreciate you. Okay. So let me just tap into this message here. Overall, we have the 6 of emotions, which does speak of nostalgia. It speaks of the inner child. It speaks of our childlike wonder of life. And are we actually playing with life? Are we utilizing that aspect of ourselves. Sometimes it's very fluid and very easy. Other times when we're in these squares and challenges and a lot of tension, um, pay attention to the thoughts that arise that change our how we're feeling. Realize it's temporary. And there's so much energy that wants to open us up. This is higher levels of consciousness that are streaming in to the planet, streaming in through each and every one of us. We have comets, we've got so much going on. And we may not know what to do with some of the energies or the messages or things that are coming through. Try not to make too much sense of it right now. It will make more sense. Nine of Materials, there's that Venus energy. What it is that we desire, our desires, our dreams. What brings us to a place of really feeling in love with life. And that connects to play. That connects to our inner child or that childlike wonder. So some people may be having some inner child temper tantrums or just inner child like traumas and wounds surfacing to be healed, to be released. But I'm not picking that up here. What I'm picking up is our hopes, our wishes, our desires, our Venus, our values, the love, the things that we love in life. A beautiful candle, a soft sweater, flowers. It's the small things sometimes. And then the Queen of Inspiration. It's important to let your soul song out. That's an interesting message. Just as I was saying, I allowed Spirit to come through my vocals on Sunday, which required me to let go, completely let go of control, let go of even thinking about what I was doing, let go of worrying about what was going to come out, let go, and trust our higher self, trust Spirit. I'm really picking up with this card, though, that there's so much more intergalactic or interstellar information. Okay, thank you. These are ancient sacred rememberings, codes, light codes, activating what's already within us. Activating our soul self, the part of ourselves that is not connected to the body, the mind, the name, the gender, how you look, what roles you play, but the soul that lives eternally. Connecting to that higher self. And remembering. This is also a retrieval of psychic abilities and other abilities that have been dormant for a very long time. Telepathic communication. And then we come to the Four of Emotions, which is very interesting. Because the Four of Emotions speaks of apathy. It speaks of feeling, okay, thank you. There could be this sense of, I don't know how to feel, because there's versions of the old self or the ego self still very much alive and active, while there's also versions of the higher self, the soul self coming online. And so there's that in between, that bridge, that in between space that has us feeling like maybe a little ungrounded, or it's a sense of something's missing. Something's missing within. Oh, that's because these activations are going on. So be patient with yourself. Things may not make a whole lot of sense right now, but there are so many messages, incoming messages and signs and synchronicities. And today is 1010, right? 1010, the number 10 in numerology. Break it down to a 1. It is the beginning. It is transformation. It is death and rebirth. It is starting anew. So try not to be hard on yourself. What she is seeking, that cup, that missing cup of emotion, of fulfillment, of love, she's sitting in it. It is a part of her. Hi, Christina. Intense over here. Yeah, it's intense in a lot of spaces. Which is why I wanted to come on and really connect with everybody. All right. I got some awesome moderators. Thank you guys so much. So let's continue with this. Where are we going with this, Spirit? Yeah, so it can to, and I know this from experience because I had this experience yesterday, to the ego mind, to the person, the human, when we're going through these activations and transformations and up leveling and whatnot, it's also bringing to the surface what we cannot take with us into this new alignment that we're going in. So it's like kind of going back down within your inner demons, your patterns, your habits. I saw how I really did not like how I was feeling, and it didn't make sense what I was feeling. And my pattern was to find a way to shut that off. Even though I know I do this work all the time, that if I sit with it long enough, it will tell me exactly what it is that I need to see, what I need to release. So it took a little bit longer. But I feel like it was a lot deeper. It was almost like, did you ever get a splinter and you can't seem to pull it out because it got so deep in, and you have to kind of wait for it to move its way back to the surface before you can pull it out? It's like that. So yeah, and a lot of changes. That's the other thing that, the human and the ego mind, when things are rapidly changing constantly, we like to kind of cling on to something like, please, spirit, God, universe, give me something tangible to actually like understand or hold on to while everything is moving and shifting and shaking, and we're just not getting it, right? It will come. Another thing that I've been picking up here towards the end of this year is as we allow and surrender, try not to control, which is also hard for the human and the ego mind, but allow the releasing too. Allow yourself to see yourself, all of yourself, without judgment, without condemning, without criticizing. There's new soulmate, soul family alignments that are beginning to weave into the fabric of our reality. else are we talking about here, Spirit? And for, all of us who are extremely sensitive to energies, protect your energy. Recognize what is yours and what is not. Like I said, unconditional love. Like I said, after giving a Reiki session yesterday, I started to feel all of these things inside my body, and it was like I was being squeezed. And so I went out to the lake to really clear and come back into my energy, and then I realized that, oh, some of this is mine. There's an activation that just happened through that session, and some of this is mine. So it is understanding what is mine, what is not mine, what can I release. And it's a process that we're constantly going through. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So we got unconditional love from Spirit. And many humans don't understand what that actually means, what that actually is. Because we're trapped in the human body, in the human form, with the human ego and a mind and the programming and the conditioning and all of that we were taught what love is in a very distorted way. And Spirit's message here is to really tap into your innocence and your divine essence, your inner child, and find that unconditional love for self. This is about self-love. Coming off of that super full moon in Aries, we're in that axis of Aries, Libra, me and the we. Who am I in the dynamic of the relationships to others? And we do play different roles and parts, as we were talking about in the last live. It's a lot of times so unconsciously we don't even realize it. And this is what Spirit is saying. Get back into your energy. Don't be bold, be brave to be your authentic self, your true self, your real self, your soul self. Be brave to find that aspect of self, to get to understand and know that the true self, and love all of your parts. The parts that have unhealthy habits and patterns, the parts that have criticized and judged self and others, the parts that have made mistakes. We are not here to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. We're here to have experiences and to clear a lot of old karma, a lot of the past life experiences and family patterns and programming and conditioning. And it's a big job, right? But when we understand the root of what we're getting back to is unconditional love. There's no condition. It just is. It comes from the heart. There's unity, there's harmony, there's peace, there's balance there. And I will say, from my personal experience, that the children that are on this earth now and are being born onto this planet now are a whole different, they're wired completely different. They are already set up. They are ready. They are ready for the new earth, the new human experience. They are not going to be easily programmed or conditioned. As a matter of fact, They read minds. They're telepathic. They're psychic. As we all are, truly, organically, naturally. It's just that many of us, most of us, have had a lot of that turned down, turned off for for the soul growth that we signed up for, but also sometimes out of survival and trying to protect oneself. Again, also based off of past life karma. Tell us about Nine of Materials, please. Okay. Let me just get a couple more cards out here. Here we have the Four of Cups again. King of Swords, reverse. Okay. Okay. So here's a little deeper into the spread. Going back to getting into our inner child-like wonder with life. It sounds lovely. It sounds easy. It's not as easy as it sounds, though. We have the King of Cups in reverse. So that right there is we're still not fully processing our emotions. We still aren't fully embodying the true potential of the soul self through the heart, through the feelings. It's like there's so much emotional energy and feeling energy in these waves. It's almost like, please give me a little bit of downtime, give me a break. So you may find yourself being really tired. You may find yourself not getting the same type of sleep as you have. You may find yourself having extreme dreams. But we can turn the King of Cups around. The Hermit there. Okay, so again, important to go within, take time to self, take time to connect to the self, to the heart. What do we have? Okay. With the Nine of Materials, as I was talking about Venus, Venus is doing a beautiful dance in the area of our relationships and our finances. And what it is, she's really trying to help us come back into balance with what is actually of value and importance here. Now that we are clearing away a lot of the, we're realizing, recognizing our part in the whole as far as what we had put importance on, whether it be money, material possessions, your looks, your job, your role, whatever it is, and getting to the nitty-gritty of what is really, truly important. Of course, it always comes back to love and comes back to self-love. What I'm picking up here with the Nine of Materials also, for those of you who are getting crunched again in the financial area, because that's definitely hitting a lot of people right now financially. Pay attention to what it's doing to you. And I notice this is so much easier to say than to put into practice, but pay attention to where your mind takes you as well. Your mentality, is it in lack? Or basically, I've got all of these hopes and wishes and dreams and things that are important to me, but I feel like I'm being blocked. I feel like, and truly, if you're having that experience, you are, but you're the one blocking yourself. So spirit and all of the things that are happening, it's really trying to unlock us into our true potential, because we are co-creators of infinite possibilities. Very true. Let's see what you guys are saying about dreams. Jess, dreams have definitely been more vivid the last few days. Not sleeping well, finding myself more stressed and under pressure. Zelda, same, had nightmares recently. Jess, yep, not fun. And that has definitely been a theme with the dreams. I I have to say, it's been very otherworldly when it comes to how vivid the dreams are. And sometimes I don't even give myself time or space for interpretation. I realize that there's a lot of releasing and purging going on in the dream state as well. And what I do, and I have found this to be helpful, is that I drink a lot of water. I have a glass of water next to my bed, and I intentionally put the energy and the prayer into the water as to either give me information that is helpful and useful for me that I can use in my dreams. You can ask for whatever it is that you're desiring in your sleep time. Drink the water. Um, Most likely in the morning you will receive clarity. And that's another thing. Everything's kind of foggy right now as far as getting clarity on what is happening, because everybody's personal lives are getting shaken up like a snow globe, just shaken up. So much change happening. And the best advice I can say with that is to don't cling to the old. The old ways won't work. They don't work. Don't cling to trying to control, because it will cause more stress, more anxiety, more tension. Surrender to what is, and know that everything is happening for um, our highest good. It truly is. It may not logically seem that way, but when the storm calms back down and everything clears, we start to gain wisdom, insight, and knowledge that has already been stored deep within. Yes. It's been, and water holds consciousness. So you can say prayers into your water. You drink the water, play around with it. It really does help. It does make a difference for sure. I'm hearing a lot of expectation grief for those of you who had like expectations of something happening or relationship. I'm hearing, the way we saw relationships are really showing their true colors, and that's difficult for a lot of people to wrap their minds around. But it doesn't have to be in the relationship. It's your relationship to life, your relationship to money, your relationship to yourself, even. It's been intense. I'm not gonna lie. It's been intense. I wasn't even sure if I was going to come on live today, because it took me a good chunk of this day just to really get back into my own energy space again. And that's difficult, because usually I have a lot of space and I get back into my energy field really easily. When I say that, I mean like when I'm sharing energies with others, family, friends, clients, you name it. I can get back into my energy field really quickly, except for this week. This week seemed to pull me into other people's energy fields, almost like the psychic radars are so loud and so strong. And I would get readings on people that I know just randomly. And if I really allowed myself to get pulled into that, I tend to go into remote viewing where I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Give me my own messages. Give me my own. So there's like this weird blurred line with, especially if you are a reader or if you read energy, you work with energy. This is a leveling up again of that in general. So the remembering the true soul self, the queen of inspiration, and remembering how powerful we really are. And these bodies, these human bodies, are the most intricate. You cannot replicate the human body. You cannot recreate the human body. I'm sure people try, but this is the most intricate machinery that has ever been created, and it has so much more intelligence and ability than we were ever taught. There's a deep remembering in there. And there's why the Four of Cups keeps coming up. We have it here and we have it here. And that is just that sense of there's more. There's so much more I'm feeling, but there's no clarity yet. King of Swords. I'm also hearing loud and clearly, where are you focused? Because there's so much distraction that's happening. There's a lot of energies that are designed to distract us and pull us into the old realm again, pulling us back, because there's so much elevating energy coming onto the planet right now, elevating human consciousness, elevating and activating the very DNA in our bodies. So where's your focus being pulled to, or what patterns and habits that you have? Maybe it's scrolling social media or watching the news and all of these things that, and it doesn't even have to be that, conversations with people that pull you into a realm. Be really mindful as to where your attention and your energy and your focus is being pulled to. King of Swords in reverse. Things are not quite clear. We're in a fuzzy space here. Also, when it comes to working with others, connecting with others, which we live on a planet with like billions of people, we share energy, we share resources, we share everything, much more than we know. We get pulled into other people's conflicts, or competition, comparison, the need to get ahead, keeping up with the Joneses, or appraisal from a family member or other people. That focus goes into your South Node, or the past life, what we are meant to break free from and move out of. I feel very strongly that there is another message. What are we? Okay. I haven't pulled from this deck in a long time. But it's still out here for a reason. So let's get an oracle or a few. Mushroom first? Okay. My grandson loves to move my crystals around. So funny. Okay. So what kind of guidance do you have for us all at this time? So I'll tell you, this Pluto transit is different. I mean, Pluto had moved retrograde. There's a lot of stuff that happened in May that we are revisiting again now, this week and this coming week. So Pluto stationed retrograde in the beginning of May. So we've had a retrograde Pluto in Aquarius, but has stayed in Aquarius. Now we'll be moving direct into the next few degrees. It's another stage in our evolution. Pluto is the soul's journey into its evolutionary process. deep transformation. So there's going to be some big shifts. We're in the process of, thank you. Another one flip? No. We're in the process of, I'm hearing renewal and also elimination. So it's a little bit of both. Again, in a year 9, on 10, interesting. On a year 9, completions. Ending. We have the death cap, endings. Right. So allow yourself to go through this process of completing a karmic cycle, a big, probably our entire lives, big karmic cycle. We're in the process of ending and completion in multiple parts of our lives. Multiple parts of our lives. Is there anything you want me to read it from the book? Okay. The death cap is a sign of endings, whether coming or already here. Death can sometimes feel like a negative thing, but death represents new beginnings too. Letting go of that which no longer serves you can feel very painful. And it may be that something you have held on to isn't allowing you to move forward. And that's really why. Don't hold on, don't cling. There's something new, there's something different that we are meant to experience. So we cause our own pain and suffering when we cling and hold on to that which is ending. Yes, Paige, we are simultaneously in a construction phase and deconstruction phase. Yeah, it's so funny. I just said that with my friend on our walk today. I said, I feel like I've been under construction for years, but the foundation has been built and it's solid and we've got the walls that are coming up. Like it's being crafted, meaning just the new me or the true, thank you, the true me. Okay. Yes. Endings can also mean many positive things, especially if it means there is an end in sight for something you have been working on or are trying to achieve. This card is a blessing, but also a warning. Don't be alarmed and don't let fear or negativity in. Everything is as it should be. Know that there are greater things at work here. Don't resist what's coming. It is time to take your hands off the steering wheel and let what needs to fall away do so. Death comes sooner or later, and resisting just delays the process. But with death comes new life. The death of something gives you the building materials to start new. What do you need to finish or bring to an end? What are you hoping will stop? Ask yourself, what do I need to let go of to bring what I desire into my life? Make it final, and remember, rest, RIP is rest in peace. Let go and let flow. Welcome a new start and go forth knowing it is for the greater good. Yeah. Yep. I was feeling a lot of that death and rebirth. That's Pluto. That's Scorpio as well. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So allow the transformation to happen, the change to happen. All right, let's get one more. From the Oracle of the 7 Energies. What message do you have for us? Connect to nature as much as you can at this time. because there's such a frequency shift and there's even frequency battles going on, artificial and otherwise, getting in touch with nature, getting outside is really helpful to get us back into our natural frequency. And any other grounding techniques that you can find that work for you. Because I'll tell you what, the energy I picked up that was not mine was so strong that it almost felt as if it had the potential to take over me, which some would call possession. And I remembered this energy from a long time ago during a time of deep trauma I was going through. So it was familiar, kind of tapped me on my shoulder and was like, hey, you remember me? And I did not like that at all. It kind of creeped me out a little bit. So pay attention to how you're feeling, what is communicating with you, where your attention and energy is flowing. Yeah. Okay. Not to scare anybody, but there's definitely some nefarious energies or entities flying around as well. Final message for us all, please. And if anybody is interested in a personal one-to-one reading with me, you can send me an email. It's in the description box when I do post this, when the live stream goes, when we're done and I post this. You can send me an email and I will send you all the details as far as options and pricing. My email is bethe333@comcast.net. Okay. And please don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Support the channel, and the algorithms of YouTube keep hiding me from people. I was made aware of that again. And that's fine, that's okay. But I'm going to keep this channel alive and keep it flowing. There are other people out there that may really benefit from these types of messages and just the connection, especially the connection in the live. Just trying to stay grounded as much as possible. Actually just mowed my mom's yard barefoot. I've done that before too. Bare feet in the ground. There's nothing better than that. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. So our last message here is the land between. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it feels so weird for a lot of people, or just like, am I coming? Am I going? I don't know. You may wake up and realize, like, what am I doing? Who am I? Or, like the feeling when you walk into a room and you forget why you walked in there. It's like those kinds of feelings. We're in between dimensions, in between, because we're getting an energetic upgrade. We're not quite there yet. We're sort of in between worlds. Beautiful depiction there, by the way, because there is a third option. There are bridges as well, as the old world is splitting. So the key concepts: being between worlds, learning to be okay while at the threshold of what was and what will be, a time of waiting and evolving, gray areas, something essential yet still in development, metamorphosis. You're in a process of change. You know that you were called to it and can no longer be who you were, but you aren't sure what the next experience of your life will be. You are in between what was and what could be, in a pupal stage, like during the metamorphosis of the caterpillar into the butterfly. However, you just can't skip the messy parts. You have to endure the unknown and uncomfortable as you reinvent yourself. The thing is, you're not quite there yet. You have one foot in the past, even if you're ready to shed that version of yourself and become something new. You must start redefining who you are in the context of your question. What do you believe is possible when you get to the next place? Can you explore this stage of your evolution to get to know yourself better? The process in between worlds is where things get really interesting. You learn how to manage your fear, how to stay present in the now, how to see in the dark. You absorb the lessons offered to you with grace because you can't go any faster. This is a real test of emotional fortitude, patience, trust, and humility. Once you've made this no man's land your home, it will be a part of you. Then, whatever was set in motion comes to life. This is what you've been waiting for. When you look back, you will grow to love the place in between, for that is where you were reborn. So, as soon as we get comfortable in the uncomfortable or the unknown, it changes yet again. Remember that. Everything is evolving, it is changing, it is transforming. We are. And so everything around us is as well. What's no longer meant to be a part of our experience will begin to dissolve and fade away or fall away. Sometimes it comes crashing down on us, depending on our path and how much we cling and hold on to the old. But it helps to become very comfortable in the present, in the now moment as much as possible. Catch yourself when you're not present. It's part of the human experience and the human condition. We're not always present, but we can put into steps and practice coming back into our energy field over and over again, back into presence, back into wholeness, and all is well. Hi, Tori. So that is what I have. Oh, my candle is leaking. That is what I have for us all today. I hope that you found this to be helpful. Interesting, we have 12 people in the chat and 21 likes, 1221. I love that mirror image of things. I don't know where I was going with that. Numbers have been speaking to me a lot lately. And I really do, I love it when I'm caught up in the universal algorithm of just, and it's not necessarily mathematics, but it's fun. It's definitely fun. So I think we're going to end this here, but I hope that everybody finds peace with where you're at right now and knowing that everything is about to change in a big, big way. And it is a beautiful thing. Don't hold on to what no longer needs to come with you in your soul's evolution. And everything is perfect as it is. Even if it doesn't feel that way, even if it doesn't seem that way, it is not permanent. It is temporary. Everything is changing and evolving rapidly, as are we. So, and when those emotional waves take hold, give yourself space, give yourself time to let the emotions flow in and out. Try not to grab onto them and create or hold on to a story or the storyline that the emotions are tied to. Or sometimes the emotional waves don't even make sense. You're fine one minute and the next moment you feel like you want to scream or cry. Check in with yourself. Is this mine? Am I picking up on somebody else's? Because we are in that very interesting land in between, or that liminal space, and it is the cosmic womb. It is the void, but where everything and nothing exists at once. It is where the mystics rise. It is the tide that the mystics speak about in so many ancient traditions as well. So tap into your spirit guides, tap into your angels, tap into who is speaking to you and guiding you. We all have our own team of light that is working with us. And that is undeniable here. So I hope, just reading some of the comments, I hope that you found this to be helpful for you guys. Sending you all so much love. Take care. Have a good night or day, wherever you are in the world. Bye.